வரேன் வரேன்.
With a wall, look on the right. This wall, you see the naval.
Yes.
Oh wow! Oh yeah, look.
It's very
My
beautiful.
group, we don't miss where I am standing now. Wall. The great Parthenon on the top of the cottage. You know, look there. The main part of the city is from the ancient period. So inside the museum, floor of glass, wall of glass, it's all very beautiful day, yeah? The sky and it's not really extremely warm, but that's a good thing, huh? Because
Yes.
it's going to be much more comfortable when we get on the top of the country.
கால் இல்லையா கால்
Oh, look here on the left. It has a nice reflection on the second floor of the museum. Reflects the great Parthenon. You see what I mean, huh? Like that? Reflect of the Parthenon.
போயிட்டு வாங்க ப்ளீஸ். நீங்கள் சொல்கிறத மட்டும் கேளுங்க ப்ளீஸ். அது அந்த அளவுக்கு இப்போ அத்தியாவசியம் கிடையாது. சும்மா வாங்க. அது சும்மா ஹோட்டலில் கேட்டாலே கொடுப்பான். டக்குன்னு ஹோட்டலில் கேட்டாலே கொடுப்பான்.
πάρα πολύ. Τι θα γίνει με τη δουλειά. Δηλαδή...
Athens Acropolis. அப்படியே போவாங்க. போமா.
Αλλά είναι τέρμα αλήθεια.
No, it's okay. I managed to gather like that. Sandra was missing. Це дай що пише, дай доля.
Ma. Ma. Ma.
Ναι, ήθελε να πάρει ένα κραγιό. Ωραίο είναι. Μ' άρεσε.
Ναι, εντάξει, καλά.
Αλλιώτικα φωτογραφισμένο το κάθε για γλυκιά. Είναι καφέ. Τι? Καφέ είναι μόνο.
Βρீங்களா? போலாம். இது அப்படியே போயிட்டே இருக்கும் போல். அப்படி போகிறதுனா போகலாம், இல்லைன்னா இப்படி திரும்பலாம். நாளைக்கு வரலாமா?
நாளைக்கு நடந்தானே வரலாம்.
இங்கெல்லாம் கார் நிற்குது, நான் எப்படின்னு தெரில எனக்கு. சரி பார்த்துட்டு வரலாம். ஆனால் இது இப்படி தான் போயிட்டுருக்கோன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். சரி ஓகே ஓகே பார்ப்போம். இங்கே பாருங்கள் எப்படி செங்குத்தா ஏறுது இது. அங்கே பாருங்கள், அது அங்கே இருக்குது பாருங்கள், ஆக்ரோபோலிஸ். அது வரைக்கும் இது அப்படியே ஏறிட்டு தான் இருக்கும். யூனிவர்சிட்டி.
Εντάξει, Χρήστο, φίλε μου, εντάξει.
Kawasaki. மா இறங்குவோமா? இல்லை, இன்னும் போகலான்னா போகலாம். இல்லை, இது இப்படியே போயிட்டுருக்கோம். ஒர்க் பண்ணலான்னா நடக்கலாம். இல்லை, நம்ம இப்படி இறங்கி போகிற மாதிரி அப்படி மெயின் ரோடு போகலான்னா போகலாம். சரி, சாப்பிட்றீங்களா? பொன்சாய் சொல்கிறீங்களா? ஆமாம். இல்லை, காஃபி தான் குடிக்கிறீங்களா? அது நிறைய நாளைக்கு பார்க்கலாமா? நாளைக்கு கண்டிப்பாக வாங்கலாம். வாங்க, ஹாஃப் டே தானே நாளைக்கு. என்ன ஸ்டாச்சு சொல்கிறீங்க? ஆமாம், அது கொஞ்சம் பார்த்து கொஞ்சம் சுற்றிட்டு நம்ம என்ன பண்ணால் தெரியுமா, நாளைக்கு நம்மளை கூப்பிட்டு போகிறான்ல, அவன்கிட்ட கேட்போம் பெட்டரான இடம். ஆமாம், அதோட ப்ராப்பரு சிவநீர் சைடில் நம்ம நாளைக்கு பார்ப்போம். இப்போ தானே வந்தோம். நம்ம அதோட ப்ராப்பராக எங்கே கிடைக்கும் அதெல்லாம் கேட்டுப்போமே. ம், அப்படிலாம் இருக்கா? என்ன கிடைக்க போகுது உனக்கு? மிஞ்சி போனால் €1 ஒரு கமிஷன் தான் உனக்கு. கொடுக்குதா?
இல்லை, தொக மாட்டேன்.
இங்கே பாருங்க. வாவ், ஜீப், கியா, மினி கூப்பர், ஜாகுவார், நிசான் காணும், டெஸ்லா இருக்குது, சுசுக்கி, இறங்குமா அப்படி நேரம் போமா? சரி வாங்க போவோம். வாங்கணும்னு பார்க்குறீங்களா? அதாவது நமக்கு அங்கே மிலோஸ் இருக்குது, சாண்டோரினி இருக்குல்ல, அங்கேயுமே நிறைய சில விஷயங்கள்லாம் இருக்கும். ஆமாம், மேக்னெட். அரிஸ்டாட்டில் இருக்கார் பாருங்க, சாக்ரட்டிஸ். இருங்க, ஒரு ஃபோட்டோ எடுக்கலாம். ஓகே, அண்ட் தென் அப்படியே ஏறினா ஒரு சர்ச் இருக்குமா, பார்த்துமா கொஞ்சம் ரிலாக்ஸ் பண்ணுங்கள், பார்த்து இருங்க. இங்கே நில்லுங்க கொஞ்சம் நேரம், அங்கே கடல் தெரியுது பாருங்கப்பா. ஏத்தன்ஸ் மாநகரம். ஜூம் பண்ணி பார்ப்போம். இந்த இடத்துல உள்ளதெல்லாம் கடல் தெரியுதா? எல்லா கடல். முன்னாடி போயிட்டோம், முன்னாடி. கீழே பார்த்து வாங்க. ஸோ சர்ச் இருக்குங்க ஒன்று. ஓகே, ஆக்ரோபோலிஸ் அங்கே தெரியும். சரி, மேலே போய் ஒரு வீடியோ பண்ணுவோம். ஓகே, நல்லா இருக்கு. பூனையோட இதுமா இது, உள்ள பூனைலாம் இருக்கு. இது அந்த ஸ்டேஷன், ஐ திங்க் லிஃப்ட் மாதிரி நினைக்கிறேன்.
Because it gets damaged at night, doesn't it?
தெரியுதா?
அந்த அது நம்ம நேற்றுக்கு ஏறினது.
அந்த ஹில் தானே. ஆமாம், நேஷ்னல் டே மார்ச் 25 அங்கே நாளைக்கு. நாளைக்கு நேஷ்னல் டே, கிரீஸோட நேஷ்னல் டேனா எல்லா இடத்துலையுமே நேஷ்னல் டே தானே. இது மட்டும்
ஸ்பெஷலாக இருக்கும்.
கேபிட்டல் சிட்டிங்கிறனால. நேற்று நம்ம வந்த பார்க் தெரியுதா? இங்கே நடந்து வந்தோம். இங்கே தானே அந்த இது சொன்னேன். இங்கே பிக் பண்ணார்ல. ஞாபகம் இருக்கா? நம்ம வந்தோமே.
I'm going to bring you two guys for the half day tour in Athens. Our driver's name is Yorgos. Yorgos is name in English George. In Greek Yorgos. Kalimera Yorgos. Kalimera is good morning. It's easy word. My group. Look. Look on the left. This is the Temple of Zeus. Completed in Roman time. A very famous Roman emperor called Hadrian paid for the completion of the temple. You remember everybody, Zeus?
Yes.
The leader.
Yes.
It was worshipped here, but the temple, what we see today, it's completed in Roman time. And we look, my group, the highlight of the tour. On the top of the Acropolis, the famous Parthenon, the greatest temple of Athena ever built, and the whole thing, citadel, fortress, temples of Athena, we call the Acropolis of Athens. The Parthenon, the most beautiful temple ever built, it was built in 450 BC, 2,500 years of age. And whatever we see, it's going to be at the end of the guided tour. Now, what we do? In a few minutes, we're going to be in front of the stadium of the first modern Olympic Games. We have a city tour, city drive. We're going to see from inside the bus the most important buildings in Athens Center. We get close to the new Acropolis Museum. The new Acropolis Museum is on the other side where is the Temple of Zeus. We walk to the museum, we visit the museum, we walk from the museum on the top of the Acropolis. We're not going to use the bus anymore. And on the top of the Acropolis, we have a guided tour on the highlight of the tour where we visit the greatest temples of Athena ever built. The goddess of wisdom, the goddess, by the way, who gave her name to the city. How do we call the capital of Greece? Athens, in Greek, Athena. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me give you the information in the bus about the great temple and the great stadium you see on the right hand side. And what about, as we conclude the commentaries in the bus, you can walk a little bit closer and take a picture. So, my group, stadium, name, Panathinaik Kalimarmaro. When it was built, what we see today is from 1896. First modern, not the ancient, modern Olympic Games organized in Athens, the capital of Greece. It was the first city of the first modern Olympic Games, 1896. So the stadium was built during that time, 1896. What we see today, my group, is a couple of times refurbished, renovated, because the rows of seats made of marble, they need a little bit to take care of and renovate a couple of times all through from 1896. Stadium's capacity, 65,000 spectators. It's one of the few stadia in the world fully built in marble. We're going to get a little bit closer to see all rows of seats made of marble. And what about the use of the beautiful stadium called Panathinaik Kalimarmaro. My group Kalimarmaro, Kalo Kali, like good morning is good, Marmaro marble. So it's a beautiful marble stadium. It's one of the few stadia in the world. You see fully built in marble. Panathinaik, to remind us, an ancient stadium which was built exactly the same area where we see the stadium of 1896, but unfortunately the ancient stadium was gone, was looted. That's why he decided to build above the remaining part of the ancient stadium, the stadium of 1896. But look, we don't confuse, whatever we see today is from 1896 and renovated a couple of times, as I told you before. What about the use today of this magnificent stadium? Once a year is the finishing point of the marathon race. Marathon runners cover the distance, marathon, Athens, 42 kilometers, 26 miles. Second use, every 2 years we lit the Olympic torch flame where? In Olympia, the cradle of the ancient Olympic Games. We bring the Olympic torch flame here, and the Greek Olympic Committee hands the Olympic torch flame to the country, which hosts it every 2 years summer and another 2 years winter Olympic Games. From the middle part of the stage, now we have a photo break, 10 minutes, because we are a big group, to go and come back with a photo break. You can see the Acropolis on the left, we're going to visit later on. And Lycabettus, there is a pointed hill called Lycabettus, where on the top is a small chapel of St. George. So ladies and gentlemen, we are the bus of Go Tours. We're going to be here. So 10 minutes break, at 8:45, 8:35, 8:45, meeting point back at the bus, meaning you go take a picture and come back. Thank you. You're welcome everybody. Kalimera. On the way back, I'll give you the devices we call the whisper with an earphone. Anyway, explain about that. Thank you.
The first Olympics ever was held here. The stadium is completely built out of marble. நிற்கிறீங்களா?
So, ladies and gentlemen, the unit I gave you with the whisper we call the earpod and the devices, we're going to use as we're in the museum, and the New Acropolis Museum and for the Acropolis side. So in the bus I use the microphone. That's going to be easier for everybody. Now my group, I'd like to tell you, do you know what day today and tomorrow, especially tomorrow it is? The Day of Independence. So look what happened. Then let us connect the story, what happened, the history of the 19th century. This country, the city, it was for 400 years. We're talking about the 80s people, the 80s period. 80 BC. BC it's when the Athenians built the Parthenon. It was a 450 BC, 2,500 years of age, whatever we visit on the top of the Acropolis later on. But what about the 80? Because look, 400 years the country, the city was under the Turks Ottoman occupation, part of the Turks Ottoman Empire, 15th to 19th, 1821, which is the day, that's the day of independence, 25th of March. So meaning it's going to be tomorrow, and tomorrow it's going to be a small parade, a military parade in front of the Parliament building. Today it's a school parade from 10 to 12:30, from 11, 12, 12:30, and that's why anyway we do the city tour early in the morning, but later on it's going to be the military, today the school parade, and tomorrow the military parade as it's a national holiday. So 1821, 25th of March, broke out the War of Independence, so the Greeks against the Turks Ottomans. We gained our independence in 1830. 34 Athena became the official capital of Greece, and from 1834 today, here in Athens, suburbs lives almost half of the country's population. From 11 million of people, a little bit less than 11, 45%, almost half of the country's population live here in the big city and the suburbs. So it's like 11.5, a little bit less than 5, 45%. So it's like a big city. Now, my group, suggestion. We see Lycabettus. We're going to see Lycabettus from the Acropolis too. Lycabettus on the top is a small chapel, the Chapel of St. George. From Lycabettus, you have the most beautiful sunset in Athens. How you can get on the top of Lycabettus? With a cable car funicular, or if you like to do more athletics, 120 steps. I can get you up on the top of the hill of Lycabettus. There's a beautiful view. Sunset, night of the city. If you'd like to stay longer, there's a restaurant, cafeteria, coffee shop, but we're not. If you don't want to go there, you'll just go outside in front of this beautiful chapel, the Chapel of St. George. Now, my group, this city has a possibility, you have the possibility here to visit many museums. One of the most beautiful museums you're going to visit today, together, the new Acropolis Museum. But look, a block away on the right, it's one of the beautiful galleries, if you like painting of Greek painters, foreign painters from 19th, 20th, 21st, is the National Gallery. From the traffic light on the right, we're going to see the National Gallery of Athens, one of the 29 museums, galleries, private, of course, there are many hundreds you can visit in Athens. So if you are interested in museums, this is your city, because for every particular interest, there's one museum for you. So if you like painting, Greek and some from more countries painters, it's on the right, the National Gallery of Athens. We can see the wall of glass over there. Look at the building. Look at the building on the right. That's the National Gallery. One more museum you can visit in the area, the War Museum. Look at the War Museum on the left. The War Museum, I like to tell you that from the strategy, we have the strategy of the war, we have the ancient war. And what was the Greek people fought against whom in the 5th century? Before the Athenians built the Parthenon and all the great temples of Athena on the top of the Acropolis, it was the Persian Wars, and the first battle was the Battle of Marathon. So a small parenthesis, you can see the War Museum on the left. So the Battle of Marathon was a place where the Athenian army defeated the Persian army. My group, or a small parenthesis, you can see that's the War Museum. We have the cannon sent from the First World War airplane here on the left. And the second building, the Byzantine Christian Museum. So Battle of Marathon, it was the place where the Athenian army defeated the Persian army. And my group, the first man who covered the distance was not an athlete, was a messenger who brought the message of victory from battlefield marathon into the city of Athens. Look on the right, Cycladic Art Museum on the right. Cycladic art, Cycladic civilization. It was a prehistoric civilization developed in the islands, on the islands like the Cyclades. And this is a very interesting museum to visit. And one more museum on the right, after the traffic light, is the Penaki Museum. But look, all museums are open today. Today, despite the fact it's Sunday, it's day off, still it's open all museums. Penaki Museum is the most interesting one because it has a big collection of different objects from different historical periods of the Greek history. Look, what we see here in the city center, it's all buildings of what we call in neoclassical style, with columns, look like the facades of the ancient Greek temple. We have many embassies, like the Italian embassy, even more we saw before, with the foreign flags, the Italian embassy, the French embassy, Egyptian embassy. I remind you, άκρη, άκρον άκρη, we use for the word in English acrobat and acrophobia. Polis, do you know what does it mean polis in English?
Cop.
City.
Oh.
Polis, politics and politician. No, video, thank you. Polis, for politics and politician, it's a city. So what does it mean Acropolis? It's like a citadel fortress where people living on the lower part of the Acropolis, they could find a protection on the top. What was the idea of the Acropolis? A protective wall, like a citadel fortress. So that was how it was the Acropolis of Athens, the end of the 12th century BC, the end of Mycenaean period, prehistoric time. Look, when the Acropolis became the great religious center. It was here, 600 BC. But look, that was before the Parthenon. So the Acropolis of Athens, the capital Arpa, became the great religious center. So from 600 BC, the Athenians walked on the top of the Acropolis to worship the famous goddess Athena. I'm going to ask you, this temple, why not the temple? This temple anymore on the top of the hill. But look, the Persian Wars. You remember I mentioned about we have the great battle of Marathon, where the Athenian army defeated the Persian army. That was the year 490 BC. 10 years after, the Persians returned here in Athens. Persian invasion. They got in the city evacuated 400 city, because otherwise there's not the point the Athena to be here and be all killed. The Persians walked on the top of the Acropolis, destroyed the previous temple, not the one we're going to build today, the Parthenon, and that's the first temple of Athena, destroyed with all the statues that offering to Athena. The Athenians buried everything, protected, and we can see them exposed in the first floor of the museum. First floor of the museum, you see everything found from 600 to 400 on the top of the Acropolis from this point is a great religious center of Athens. This is the greatest mall of the ancient city-state. How do we call this period? The golden age. The age of ages. I don't have to tell you how important was this period. When we talk about the greatest, the glorious moment of the ancient Greek civilization, always we have to be here in Athens in 450 when the Athenians, after the Persian Wars, built all the great temples of Athena. So where is the museum? The museum, it was built here where I'm standing, looking the southern slope of the Acropolis. So where is the most famous temple ever built? The great Parthenon. There is a second temple of Athena called the Erechtheion, which we're going to see the great decoration with the women's statue before the chariots in the first floor. Then there was a small temple of Athena in the gate of Ilea. And where did the ancient Athenians lived and how many people did they live? 450 BC, when the Athenians had to build all the temples. 400,000 people living on the lower part of the Acropolis. As we're looking now, the southern slope of the Acropolis, this is in front of us, and we're going to see later on from the top of the hill, the first theater in the world. I'd like to remind you, in 450 BC, why in the city of Athens it was realized the greatest moment of the ancient Greek civilization, the glorious moment, because the right people, right condition, and the right time. After the Persian Wars, and I'd like to remind you, Athena, in the 5th century BC, became the cradle of democracy. So the first democracy in the world, we're going to see later on. It was born here with Roma. So the first theater in the world, it was found here. It's the southern slope of the Acropolis, theater of Dionysus. Thanks to the festival of Lycia, we have the beginning of drama. So I'm going to show you later on the theater where it took place the famous participated, of course, the actors performed the tragedies of Aeschylus, Sophocles, Euripides, and Aristotle. Theater of Dionysus. Now, look, Roman time. That's the 450, when they started to build all the temples. Roman time. That's the 2nd, 3rd century old dates. Roman period. But look at Roman. You remember what happened to the Romans? It's the same god like the ancient Greek people, but changed the name. So what was the name of goddess Athena for the Romans? Minerva. So look, everything was almost intact. Even the other Roman time, more also says the auditorium. So we have the Kilon, as we call it, the spectators, it was added more. But look, comparing the theater of Dionysus in classical period with the theater of Dionysus in battles for the Romans. For the Roman time is much bigger, much more elaborated. And they added one more building, which is the Odeon, the Odeon of Herostratus. What I'm going to tell you about this Odeon is still in use because it was very well preserved. We renovated in 1952. We used for the Festival of Athens. I'm going to show you also a very interesting model of the Acropolis of smaller scale in Lego. Lego later on, and I'm going to show you who has performed here in Athens in 1997. But look, Christian time. Look, in Christian time, people changed religion. They didn't care about the ancient temples anymore. So only the Parthenon has been transformed into a church. And look, what we see the Acropolis here in medieval time, it was like the beginning citadel fortress. We have the Parthenon being a church. And of course, we have a period which is the city of Athens was not very important anymore because it was connected more with the glorious moment of the past, which was the ancient religion and the veneration of the gods. Because people became Christian during the time, so they didn't care about the city and they didn't care about all the ancient Greek temples. Now, let us go through the gate. I'm going to tell you that again, 11 o'clock.
இதெல்லாம் இடிச்சிட்டாங்களா?
பர்ஷியன் ஆர்சி கப்பல். los demás